after Queen Lelia proved her royal sensitivity by feeling a tiny pea through 20 mattresses. Everyone thought her troubles were over. She married the dashing King Rolf, and life in the castle was supposed to be a dream. But being a queen isn't all crowns and comfort, as Lelia soon discovered. Their first major royal duty was a massive state dinner, the guest of honor. The very stern, very skeptical King Oberon from the neighboring kingdom. He'd heard the stories about Lelia and didn't believe a word of them. The royal dining hall was a sight to behold. Gold plates, crystal glasses, and enough flowers to fill a meadow. Lelia was dressed in her heaviest coronation silks, feeling every inch the queen, and King Rolf couldn't stop smiling at her. Everything was perfect. The orchestra played, the servants glided around, and the first course, a magnificent roasted pheasant, was served. But just as everyone was about to dig in, Lelia started to squirm. She shifted in her grand plush chair. She fidgeted. She looked incredibly uncomfortable. She leaned over to her husband and whispered, her voice tight with distress, "Rolf, darling, something is terribly wrong." Rolf looked concerned. "What is it, my love? Is the pheasant not to your liking?" No, it's not the food," she hissed. "There's a dreadful sharp lump right under my hip. It feels like a metallic boulder digging into me." Now, King Oberon, who had the ears of a hawk, heard every word. He stopped chewing his pheasant mid-bite and stared at Lelia, his eyes narrowing. "The queen seems unwell," he said loudly, a hint of a smirk on his face. Perhaps the long journey here was too taxing for her delicate constitution. That was the last straw for Lelia. She wasn't about to be mocked by this grumpy king. "No, King Oberon," she declared, leaping to her feet so fast her chair scraped against the floor. A few breadcrumbs flew into the air. "It is not the journey, it is this." With a dramatic flourish, she grabbed the thick embroidered cushion from her royal chair and yanked it away. And there, pressed deep into the velvet of the chair's seat, was a distinct metallic shape. The head butler, a man named Barnaby, who prided himself on perfection, rushed forward, his face as white as a napkin. "Good heavens! What is it?" he stammered, peering at the chair. Lelia pointed a trembling regal finger. "It's a silver spoon, a dessert spoon to be precise. And it was placed upside down. The fancy pattern on the handle dug right through the silk, through the cushion, and into my person. How am I supposed to enjoy a meal under these conditions?" Barnaby looked like he was about to faint. He quickly picked up the offending objector, priceless heirloom Tudor silver spoon that had somehow been left on the chair. The entire hall fell silent. Everyone stared first at the spoon, then at the queen. Then something unexpected happened. King Oberon, who had been watching with a stony expression, suddenly let out a huge, booming laugh. It echoed through the dining hall. "A spoon," he roared, slapping his knee. "Ha! I have heard the tales about your sensitivity, Queen Lelia, but this is incredible. To detect an upside-down silver spoon through a chair and a thick cushion. The legends are true. She really is the most sensitive queen in all the lands. Rolf, who had been holding his breath, let out a sigh of relief and smiled at his amazing wife. He was part proud, part just plain amused. Lelia, seeing that the crisis was over, gracefully smoothed down her dress and sat back down, her regal composure fully restored. She looked at the mortified butler. "Barnaby," she said crisply, but not unkindly, "please ensure all cutlery is properly stored away from now on. I simply cannot dine with a looming silverware crisis." And so the first state dinner of King Rolf and Queen Lelia's reign was a roaring success. It wasn't saved by clever politics or treaties, but by Queen Lelia's unbelievably, legendarily sensitive bottom. Thanks for watching our story today. If you enjoyed this quirky royal tale, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures from history and fantasy. See you next time.